Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, February 26th. Well, the overall weather pattern is undergoing some big changes. It looks like we'll have a high latitude blocking pattern that will set up over places like Greenland and northeastern Canada with much higher than normal heights for this time of the year. Why is that important? High latitude blocking as we go from February into March often leads to cold air outbreaks for the central and eastern U.S. Not only does it allow for the movement of cold air masses into the central and eastern U.S., but high latitude blocking will allow for that cold air to sustain itself. Without high latitude blocking, you are much more difficult to get sustained cold air in the central and eastern U.S. Indeed, it looks like we'll have a colder than normal pattern develop as we move through the very beginning of March, and it looks like it'll continue well into the month of March. The next few days, however, will be warmer than normal. This transition from the warmer than normal pattern that we're experiencing right now to the colder than normal pattern that we'll get as we move into March looks like it'll result in a powerful ocean storm just off the mid-Atlantic coastline later this week in the Thursday-Friday time frame. It looks like a soaking rain event for D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Could even be a changeover to snow or snow showers at the end of that system late in the work week, early part of the weekend. Any snow that forms later this week looks like it'll be dependent on two factors. One, elevation. Those areas, for example, northeastern Pennsylvania, upstate Pennsylvania, New York, in the higher elevations have a better chance for snow. And any location that comes right underneath the upper level low where there will be strong dynamics, strong upward motion, could see brief changeover to snow. But for the most part, it looks like a soaking rain event for D.C., Philadelphia, New York City later this week associated with this powerful ocean storm that will form over the next several days. Well, one of the ways that meteorologists track the possibility of high latitude blocking this time of the year is to follow an index called the North Atlantic Oscillation, the NAO. Its sister index called the Arctic Oscillation also is an important index to look at this time of the year. When both of these drop into negative territory simultaneously, that often suggests high latitude blocking will develop, and indeed both are dropping into negative territory over the next few days. And here in red is the forecast for the NAO. Right now, currently, we're right here, right in this area, right in here, but we just tank over the next few days into negative territory, and the Arctic Oscillation is doing the same thing over the next several days, dropping from positive to negative territory again, supporting the idea of a high latitude blocking setting up. By the way, this high latitude blocking right now has really set up on the other side of the North Pole, contributing to a massive cold wave across Europe that really is being felt right now. Places like Rome, for example, had a rare snowfall this morning, Monday morning. Moscow dropped to below zero. These are quite impressive values and results indeed of this Siberian Express that has moved into Europe right now, and that's because of high latitude blocking right now on the other side of the pole that shifts to Greenland and northeastern Canada by the end of this week. In fact, let's take a look at where this high latitude blocking sets up. This is a forecast map from last night's ensemble run of the GFS for the 500 millibar height anomalies, and a good way to track the pressure patterns around the world. In this particular case, we're looking at North America. Here's Greenland, by the way, right up here, and the U.S. is down in this region right now. The oranges here along the eastern seaboard represent higher heights than normal, higher temperatures than normal right now. And again, the next few days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, look warmer than normal. Well, let's just move ahead in 6-hour increments and see what develops right in this region right here. That's what we really want to look at here. And let's just move forward here. Here we go. We're moving ahead now. And notice this purple area right here. That is extremely higher heights than normal here. Now we're into tomorrow afternoon. And look at that develop over Greenland here by the latter part of the week. This is now Thursday morning. Just a tremendous blob of higher heights than normal, way above normal. And that is higher pressure than normal, sitting over places like Greenland and northeastern Canada. Again, right now on the other side of the pole, but it shifts to the North America side of the pole by the end of the week, and that in turn will allow for the colder air masses to start dropping into the central and eastern U.S. moving forward here. And here we go. By the end of the week, we have this upper level feature that drops all the way down the California coast, then takes a turn to the east and goes all the way across the country, and it helps to develop a powerful ocean storm by the Friday time frame, right in this region, right in here by late Thursday going into Friday. There ought to be a strong storm just off the mid-Atlantic coastline over the western Atlantic. By the way, sea surface temperatures are way above normal just off the east coast, and that'll contribute not only to the strength of this storm, but going forward, I think March will turn out to be a stormy period, partly as a result of those very warm sea surface temperatures right off the east coast of the U.S. Let's keep moving forward here. Here we go, a strong storm here, again for the most part bringing soaking rain to D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, but towards the latter part of that storm, before it ends, cold air could wrap in, and it could be a changeover to snow or snow showers in at least parts of the mid-Atlantic region. And here we go now into Friday afternoon, just a tremendous blob here over the northern latitudes on this side of the pole, the North America side of the pole, representing high latitude blocking. This deep upper level low will actually send a wave going all the way across the country, and we may have to deal with another coastal storm by the middle part of next week. Let's keep moving forward here. And here we go, that high latitude blocking continues here as we move into the weekend, and this will send another wave, eject another wave across the country, and we may have to deal with another storm system by the middle part of next week. Well, to show an example of what that high latitude blocking will do to the temperature pattern in the central and eastern U.S., let's take a look at last night's ensemble run of the GFS 5-day averages for 850 millibar temperature anomalies. This is the current 5-day period. Eastern half of the nation, warmer than normal indeed. Way out west, colder than normal. But right now, before that high latitude blocking sets up on our side of the pole, we'll have a continuation of above normal conditions. Let's now jump out to days 5 to 9. And here we go. Let's get that in place. And here we go. Notice colder than normal conditions starting to set up here along the eastern seaboard, especially in the mid-Atlantic region. Still colder than normal way out west, but this is as a result of the high latitude blocking. The transition from the warmer than normal now to this colder than normal will result in a powerful ocean storm later in the week. Let's now go out even farther to days 11 to 15. And here we go. This is from going into the middle part of March. Let's pull that up and look at this. Widespread colder than normal during the second week and going into the middle part of March here, setting up all a result, or at least a large part, a result of that high latitude blocking that sets up. So big changes in the overall weather pattern to our current warmer than normal, and March looks like it'll evolve into a colder than normal pattern for much of the eastern half of the nation. Well, let's walk through last night's surface maps from the GFS model. This is the 06C GFS model. High pressure will take control today. We'll finally, in several days, see the return of some sunshine. Again, mild conditions not only this afternoon, but Tuesday and Wednesday as well. And then we'll just keep moving forward here in 6-hour increments. This is now Wednesday. That California system drops down the west coast of California, then ejects to the east. And here is the pattern as of Wednesday morning. Some rainfall over the Ohio Valley. And by the time we roll into Thursday, it'll be right on the doorstep of the D.C. to New York City corridor. Strong low pressure over the southern part of the Great Lakes region. And again, a soaking rainfall expected here in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City later Thursday into Friday as a developing ocean storm forms here. And this will become a powerful system. And indeed, here we are now, late Thursday night going into Friday morning. Notice some blue starting to show up as this storm intensifies off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Again, a powerful western Atlantic storm by the end of the work week. Still raining at this time, but again, two factors we want to monitor as this storm unfolds. The exact location of the upper level low, where the dynamics, the upper motion, will be the greatest. That'll contribute to a changeover from rain to snow. And elevation, higher elevations with this kind of a pattern will certainly have a better chance of a changeover to snow. Places like northeastern Pennsylvania, upstate New York. Again, dynamics and elevation will be important factors to follow later this week in terms of any potential changeover from the rain to snow as cold air starts to wrap in. Now, this storm sits right here and then actually drives to the south and east, all a result of that massive blocking to the north, over northeastern Canada, over Greenland. It's basically shunts this system to the south and east. And again, some snows develop, especially in the higher elevation locations. And here we go now, Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Look at this storm, a powerful storm. It does not have the ability to go north because of that high latitude blocking. At this time, perhaps some snow shower activity even into the I-95 corridor. And again, depending on exactly where the dynamics are best, the upper motion greatest, and where that upper level low moves, and your elevation will determine whether or not the rain actually changes to snow. This continues to drive to the south and east again, all as a result of that high latitude blocking that sets up. Now, at this time, we'll start to focus in on the western U.S., where another California system, that's also part of this overall change. They've been dry going into this particular pattern change. They'll be wetter, and some snow up in the Sierra Nevadas over the next several days. This could come right across the country and have an impact on our weather here by the middle of next week. So a lot going on over the next several days. We evolve from a warmer than normal pattern to a colder than normal pattern, thanks in large part to high latitude blocking that sets up by the end of this week. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.